I've already started recording, so there's that. I want to kind of start doing like a natural lead in or what have you, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, what's up, guys? This is Courtney, one half of the Rest of Deconstruction here, and I'm with my boy John.
Hooked it up.
Finally back with another episode of the BoDcast. It's been quite a while, mainly because work was really crazy from basically Thanksgiving to Christmas. Um, and so I didn't really work in like, 5, 6 day weeks, sometimes 11, 12. They had a couple of 12-hour shifts in there, um, but mostly like 11-hour shifts. I already stay like, 45 minutes away from work. So yeah, motherfuckers been tired. Is basically what I'm trying to get to. So I guess this is like the start of the new season. I don't really want to call it a season, but whatever. So this is a brand new episode. I don't want to reissue it episode 1, but I'll figure out what I'll do in post. If you hear sizzling, it's my boy John cooking in the back. He got that work. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we wanted to John, kind of chewed me out a little bit about when we're gonna do another podcast episode.
Yes.
So yeah, let me change my little. There we go. Had to adjust the microphone arm. Yeah. So today's episode, we're gonna discuss the Avengers Endgame trailer, the
The
little
Super Bowl spot.
the Super Bowl spot that they just released, a couple of days ago. Today is Tuesday the 5th. I have no idea when this episode is going to get uploaded. Ideally, it'll be this week, maybe next week, but who knows? We'll see. I apparently I like waiting until my last off day to do a bunch of shit. So I'm currently editing a super late review, and then I have this to edit and upload to YouTube. This might actually be the first episode that I like upload straight to like iTunes or Google Play or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, so we'll talk the Super Bowl spot, and then I'm gonna hit John with a surprise topic that we're gonna kind of discuss after the Super Bowl spot has kind of run its course. So yeah, first things first. What did you think of it? Was it too short? Was it perfect? Was it, what were
Well,
your thoughts on it?
I do think it was too short, but that's not a bad thing in my eyes
Right.
because especially with like some of these movies, like less is more.
Yeah.
So I'm really, the less that I can see on like the TV screen, the better. It didn't. I mean, there and the other thing that I really dug is there was just a couple of images that really kind of just stood out. Now normally I'm all for like, action scenes or like, whatever,
Yeah. But
but
not for this. Not for this.
not for this. No, not for this. And this is like, I don't know, this one to me kind of trumps the the other spot or the other trailer or whichever. Only because I guess you kind of saw like not just the aftermath of, the snap, but you saw it like all over the world.
Yeah.
Like those images at Citi Field and then the images at the Statue of Liberty, like, and just New York, just like gloomed out, not just gloomy, but like, like we've never seen that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Yeah.
like it was just like a desolate wasteland.
Yeah.
And I think it was a really, really cool image that they, and I hope that there's a lot of this scene in the movie, but, Cap in I guess you could call it like,
A support group.
yeah, that's the term, I guess. But yeah, man, I mean, trying to just deal with the loss and just deal with, you know, all of it.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just like, damn, man, like what in the world? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I think for this, I don't think it was too short. I think it was perfect. And I said this in my analysis video. Go check that out, by the way. Shameless plug for the YouTube channel. But I said in my analysis video that Marvel has mastered the Super Bowl 30-second spot. They've mastered it. We had the 30-second spot for Civil War when it was the face-off. Didn't really show us a whole lot. Because at that point, there was only speculation about, what else was going on in the movie. Because we had already knew that Daniel Bruhl was playing Zemo. We had already knew like a bunch of other plot points, I guess you can say, about Civil War. But we had that 30-second spot was just like, yo, it's the team fighting each other. 30-second spot for Infinity War. Same thing. Only showed glimpses of stuff. And I still remember, and I tweeted about this, I still remember when people thought that Captain Marvel was standing behind Cap. And when people thought that Vision didn't have the Mind Stone in his head. And I was like, you clearly see a glimmer. I noticed the glimmer when I saw it live. Like, come on now, guys. And I didn't think that Captain Marvel was behind him. I was like, if anything, that's Wanda. Like, we've already seen that Wanda was with him when he got attacked.
Yeah.
So why would Captain Marvel just come out of nowhere?
Yeah.
But they've mastered the 30-second spot. And this was really, really... I've watched like maybe one other analysis video, like after I did mine, that kind of pointed out something really, really interesting that I'll get to. But I love the shot of, kind of the landscape of what's going on. Like, clearly, this adds to my theory that a certain amount of time has passed since the snap.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, in my video, I say that, in the shot of Citi Field, the grass is covering the baseball diamond. That doesn't happen in a matter of days or weeks. Like it's very well known to anybody that's, into sports, into baseball, that the grounds of the baseball field are well kept. Like, they keep those things in tip-top condition because players are playing on them all the time. So I can't possibly see, a baseball diamond basically being covered by grass happen in the matter of 2-3 weeks, a month. Like, I'm thinking, close to a year has gone past at least.
Yeah.
Another thing that I loved was not only was Cap in a support group, the shot that we saw in the trailer looked like he didn't want to share.
Oh yeah.
And it like just the face that he was making, it's very much one of those instances where somebody keeps poking and prodding you to talk, and you're just like, you know what, you're really pissing me off right now. Like, I've already told you I don't want to say this.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, like, the kind of vibe I got from it is like, and I've never been in a support group, so I can't, I've just from what I've seen on film and TV, but like, he just has these, like, it's just credit to like his acting ability, because he just has these like faces that are just like, some people, when you go to like a support group, you're coming to terms with whatever, you're in the support group, whether it's like alcohol or death in the family or something like that. So in Cap's mind, it's losing all these people, but like, he's just got this face, like he just refuses to believe that this is the way things are supposed to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just,
that only dialogue in the trailer also feeds into that too. Like, most people would move on, not us. Like, that sounds like a person that is not coping well at all.
Yes.
And the one thing that I saw in one of the theory videos that I thought was like an interesting thing to notice and point out was that, what has the snap done? How much of the world has the snap changed to where Captain America is out in the open again? Like, we forget that he's still a fugitive. He's a fugitive at the end, like during Infinity War.
Yeah.
And he was in hiding for, the 2 years after Civil War. What's going on that he just doesn't give a fuck and he's going to support groups now?
Yeah.
And it's not like, he's not recognizable. Before he was with a beard and longer hair. Now his hair is reasonably the same length, but he's cut off his facial hair. So people know
Yeah,
that that's Captain America.
exactly.
So what's going on? Either he just doesn't give a fuck, or literally the world is that much in shambles where nobody cares about the Accords anymore.
I'm really thinking that because I don't know, and it's really interesting to play out, or to see how it's going to play out, because like that's the thing is like without Cap and without that team, Thanos would have gotten these Infinity Stones a lot longer or a lot quicker. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like at that point, everything's still just. I mean, I don't know, man. It's so crazy to think, and like that's why I'm so kind of glad that the shots that we saw were like shots of like the aftermath, but not just in the characters' worlds, but like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this event is like not just it didn't just take out specific Marvel heroes. Like they're putting it on a global map where like, and I'm not trying to compare it to any other like huge incident, but like just say for example like the world or America itself was in shambles after 9/11 for
Yeah.
months and months and months so
Yeah.
like I guess like the kind of the gravitas that they're going for is like like people are gone,
Right.
like
Exactly.
people are like gone, and that's the thing is like nobody just died, like they just disappeared,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's the cool part.
Yeah, I think, and I just love what I saw, like seeing um Tony and Nebula work on something.
Oh man.
People have since said that it's brought back Iron Man vibes when him and
Yes.
Jensen were working on the suit.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool thing that I didn't think of at first, but it also made me ask the question, like, because before in my analysis of the first trailer that we got, we clearly see, well, I can't say clearly, but we see a hand touch a shoulder. We can only assume that's Nebula's hand touching Tony's shoulder, and I say, hey, that's not like any normal touch. Like that's a pat on somebody's shoulder that you do when you're about to leave. That's very much
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm leaving now. That's one of those kind of like shoulder touches.
Yeah.
And my question was, what happened where Nebula left the ship? And seeing them work on whatever it was they were working on, I bring up, does Tony like try to like does Tony not have what he needs to really fix his nano suit, and he kind of figures out a way to get Nebula off the ship to get help? Or what's going on? Like, why do we see this in this trailer, them working on something, and then see just Tony left on the ship? I'm thinking they probably come together to create something, maybe help Nebula survive in space for a period of time or something like that, so she can get to Earth maybe and go get help. And time passes and she doesn't come back for whatever reason, and that's when Tony is like getting desperate, like, well, food is gone, water is gone, oxygen is going to be gone tomorrow. Like that just raises more questions with me, and I'm totally fine with more questions being raised than answered, because I really don't want any more answers until I see the movie. Like, I'm perfectly fine with this being the last like trailer, TV spot, whatever, for Endgame until we see the movie. I'm perfectly fine with us only getting 2 trailers. And not even a second trailer. Like, I don't really count a TV spot as a trailer. But that makes me think, what's going on with them. People pointed out on Twitter, after the trailer dropped, there's an abnormally large space between Banner and Rhodey when they're stepping out onto the front lawn of Avengers HQ. in that scene. Like they edited somebody out. And Marvel is known for editing people out of scenes and, you know, just editing scenes in general. Like
yeah, like the one scene where they're in Wakanda, where they're running towards, you know, Thanos' army.
Yeah.
Like the Hulk is right there,
Yeah.
like running with them, you know, and then, you know, we didn't even see Hulk in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and the funny thing is, I don't even think that scene was in the movie.
no, it wasn't. No, because
that's
they didn't run. Yeah.
And but you're right. Like again, going back to the Civil War Super Bowl spot, when they showed the face off, Spider-Man wasn't in that scene, and he was standing in between War Machine and Widow.
Yep.
And even when they showed them running together, Spider-Man was running alongside Widow. He was running past her. You know, just like with Thor Ragnarok, they edited him to have both eyes instead of one, like he had in the movie. So Marvel has a history of editing scenes. So then that raises the question, who's in that scene that they edited out? Like, and what are they, and for me, more importantly, what are they looking at? They're clearly looking up at something when they run out onto the line. So what are they looking at? Is Nebula touching, is a ship that they created, you know, coming into orbit and touching down, hovering over the lawn, and they, you know, they run out to see what it is. Is, you know, is Tony in between them? Is it Scott? Is it, you know, who is it that's standing in between them, and what are they looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of stuff like in this little teaser. I love the fact that people pointed out, and I didn't notice this, but I got super excited. People pointed out the fact that Rocket is wearing his same uniform.
Costume.
Yeah, the Abnett landing costume from the 2008 run of Guardians.
Yep.
I love that. And then I noticed I think either yesterday or earlier today, it might have been on Reddit. Reddit always finding shit. But somebody said that they think that he, like when he opens the door to Thanos' hut, that's my theory. I'll get to that later. But when he opens the door, obviously he has like the suit and he has like gun holsters and guns on his hips. Somebody pointed out that those very well could be Quill's guns that he has. And I was like, shit, they kind of do look like them, don't they?
Yeah.
Fuck. So at that point, it's like, if they are, you know, the last person to see Quill alive was Nebula and Tony. So does Nebula come back and she has his guns with him? Or does, you know, Stark come back and he has his guns still? Like, what's going on? Another thing, Thor and Rocket are hunting down Thanos. And I say that because Thor is walking through his shit looking for him. That shot of Thor that we see, he's looking down at something, maybe on the table, maybe on the floor. And the space that he walks through is the exact same space that Thanos walked through at the end of Infinity War, before he sat down on the porch or whatever and looked over his farm. It's the exact same space. So they're hunting him. So my question for that, how the fuck did they find out where New Titan was?
Yeah.
Like this movie is gonna be so fucking fire, and I'm trying to get ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all these questions are being raised, and it's definitely interesting, and it's good to like not have the answers. Like it's
yeah,
you know, a lot of times when these movies come out, like you get an idea of like what generally is going to go on. Like Civil War, for example, you know, it's based on a comic where Cap and Iron Man are really just kind of butting heads. Now they gave us their own kind of spin on it, but like at the end of the day, you knew what, you know, Civil War was going to be, or, you know, even with like Avengers 1, you knew, you know, they set the premise, you know, that Loki's coming together. It was just good to see the way it turned out. But yeah, with this movie, like we don't know. I don't really know what's going to go on, and it's just a trip.
We literally have no idea what's going on. We know that they're going to try to. We don't even officially know this, but we can only infer that they're going to try to undo the snap, I guess.
Yep.
But even then, we kind of don't know that for sure. They just might be trying to hunt down Thanos to kill him for what he did. We don't know that they're trying to undo the snap. Like we don't.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, this trailer was something. And the funny thing was is that during that fucking oh man, I forget. I think it was for the Twilight Zone teaser.
Uh huh.
It was for one of the commercials. I thought that it was like I thought it was Nick Fury, so I thought it was like the Endgame teaser, and I damn near fell out of my chair trying to look at the TV because my desk is right next to my TV, so I can turn my head. But once I heard that and I didn't know what was going on, I saw a dark screen. I saw a dude just standing there. I started leaning back to get a better view, and I was leaning back in my chair, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't Endgame. Okay, never mind." But yeah, so I think that trailer is perfect. It's long enough for us to get a taste of what's to come, but it's not, overwhelmingly spoilery
Yeah.
because again, we don't know what the hell is going on. Because again, I
Yep.
just asked a shit ton of questions. So
No, it's true. Yeah. No, it's exciting, but yeah, just so many open-ended questions that could just make or break what's going to go down. It's
yeah,
just a trip because there's all kinds of rumors and
yeah,
everyone still has their beliefs on what could happen or whatever.
yeah,
And don't get me wrong, I'm excited about all that as well. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a trip.
yeah.
Like
Another thing I saw pointed out was that War Machine has new armor. So the video that I saw that in, I think it was CBR. But they're like, does Tony come back and with enough time to upgrade War Machine's armor? And I was like, I actually don't know if War Machine's armor looked like that in Infinity War. I have to go back and look because you don't
yep.
really see a lot of his armor to be able to tell that that's what it looked like. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it looked like that in Infinity War, but I'm not sure. Maybe he does have new armor. Who knows? Also, I think that there could be somebody that might be edited out of that last shot that we saw, the team walking through the headquarters. It could be somebody edited out, but I'm not really sure. There are really no big gaps in between anybody, but it could be an extra person at the end of the line or at the front of the line. Who knows? Also, I think it's interesting that Cap's hands are trembling before he tightens the strap on the shield. Clearly, this
Yeah,
man has
man.
gone through some shit.
Yes, bro.
And his
Like,
hands are dirty and kind of bloody and everything. Like, whew.
well, I mean, that's even one of the better parts is like, you know, the fact he gets the shield back,
Right, exactly.
So it's just like, ooh, like, yes.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be great. This is gonna be absolutely fucking great. And I really don't care what anybody gotta say.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so fucking fire. Like I can't wait. April needs to get here. Um,
Well, I mean, we're already in February.
true.
So,
So we there. We 2 months away.
yeah, we're not too far away at all, which is hella good. Also, like that other thing is like, what are they seeing? Like whenever they're like looking up at night, like
Yeah,
it looks like they're in a baseball field. Like, oh man, like
man. I'm
I don't
telling
know.
you.
A part of me wants to say like they're watching out for like Tony, like maybe Tony's coming down or something like that.
Well, yeah,
But
that's the shot that I was talking about where
yeah,
there's a big enough gap in between them. Like I'm thinking that that's at the Avengers HQ. They're just running outside because something's going on, and what are they looking up at? Is Tony coming down? Is Nebula coming down? Like, you know, whoever is Captain Marvel coming down, or is she already standing in between Banner and Rhodey? Like who? Like the questions that are being raised, have loads of potential. Like it could be an extra person that we didn't even know was in the fucking movie or something like that.
yeah, yup.
But yeah, I can't wait, man. Also,
Shit.
I'm so unexcited for Captain Marvel. If you wanted to talk Captain Marvel,
I don't.
Like, I'm so unexcited for that movie.
Yeah, I'm honestly not a big fan, but not a hater.
Right. Yeah,
Like I'm not.
it's definitely not coming from a standpoint of like the other idiots online that are just like, oh, she's an SJW character. I think now in the comics they've used her that way more
Yeah,
recently. But really my unexcitement is coming from Brie Larson's delivery more than anything. And it's
yeah.
not, Brie Larson, she's an Academy Award. Has she won or has she only been nominated? She won an Oscar,
I,
right?
I'm not sure, man. Like that's another thing is like I really don't follow her like that. So
Yeah.
it's like okay, it's already bad enough that I don't follow Captain Marvel, but now you're gonna put it with an actor that I'm not,
Yeah,
like, oh
familiar with.
damn, they're gonna be in a movie, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like my
if I'm,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say if I'm excited about anything, it's probably just the fact that like this movie will take place in the '90s, so not only is it gonna be like a cool period piece, but like it's it's going to show like how things were formed, because if
Yeah.
there's one thing you want to see, it's like, well, like, all right, well, how did Shield get to that point, or how did
Yeah.
this person get to that point, And I'm excited to see the scrolls, even though they're not like the best looking version of the scrolls, in my opinion. Like,
Although I still think they look really good.
I think it looks good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it looks decent, but I guess I'm a part of that. When you see the concept art or where they release like, concept art of what it'll look like, you're like, oh man, that's what they're going for. And then when you get it, you're like, eh.
Yeah.
Because to me, they just look like green skinned versions of the Dark Elves from Thor.
You know what? I can see that. I can absolutely see that. I think
Like I,
I think the makeup on them, as far regarding the outfits, I could totally understand why you're saying that. I think for me, I'm looking more so like at the actual like makeups on the actor, like makeup on the actors, and I just think it looks really really good. Like it looks better than the first couple of pictures that we saw of them. Like, look, and you can never always go strictly off pictures because obviously there's no extra CG added to kind of smooth things out
yeah,
or
that's true.
whatever. So, seeing something, and that's why I always try to like wait. If I see a suit that doesn't really look all that hot, I try to wait until we see it in a trailer or in footage because it might look better in motion. It just might look better in footage.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but yeah, I think the actual makeup on the actors looks pretty good, and I did see a bit of that transformation from that one TV spot or trailer or something like that. I think it was an exclusive look at the movie that aired on like GMA or something like that,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, that transformation looks painful.
Yeah. No, that looks cool. That's definitely a new touch, and that's, it's just weird, or it's like not weird, but I guess it's difficult, because a lot of these, a lot of these superhero movies, like when you look at it drawn in comics, like a lot of the imagery is like sort of the same, like as far as like their abilities and what they do. So
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy when you have to transfer that to a movie, and you're like, well, damn, how are we going to do something that visually has never been done before? Because people are, there's been shape shifting things like all the time. Like Mystique has the shape shifting thing, but hers, it's sort of like something that like comes over her like from the top, and it engulfs,
yeah,
rather than like someone actually like their face forming. So I will give them that as far as like seeing the scrolls turn into somebody else or shapeshift. That's really cool.
yeah,
So that's a good touch on their part. I don't know, I guess like just there was like an image that got even released like in Total Film Magazine or something that I saw, and I don't know, I just couldn't get behind it. It just looks, I was expecting something a little more, not necessarily organic,
yeah,
like, but more just like alien tech like, especially like with the way that the Kree, their suits are designed. It looks very militant.
yeah.
So I was thinking kind of the same thing, but like maybe flipped, you know.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but I
I
mean,
get
it
it.
doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, you know. And I mean, it's definitely it's a scroll, you know. Like if you put it next to the image, like you know, he's wearing purple and he's got green skin. Like
Yeah.
it's not the Hulk, it's a scroll.
Right.
So you know,
No. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so unexcited. I just want Brie to sound like she's, and I mean that might play a part in the actual characterization of her, since they're playing around with the fact that her memories might be false or whatever like that. But
hmm
like she's another amnesiac like superhero or amnesiac hero, and it's like, look, I understand you might have amnesia, but damn, does that take away your personality too? And you know,
damn.
I don't follow Captain Marvel either. Like I don't follow Carol either. I've been meaning to go back and read that run from Marvel Now. I forget the name of the writer who was on that book, but I've been meaning to go back and watch that, since people kind of say that that's the definitive run on Carol. But you know, Carol Danvers from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero, she had personality.
hmm
And so I just want Brie to sound like she has a larger emotional range past like sounding like a piece of wood.
Whew.
Because really, like, is super monotone, and she just and her like angry "I'm gonna get you" face. She just looks bored. She looks bored. I'm sorry. Like
yeah.
it's. I still wanted Catherine Winnick from Vikings in the role, or
hmm
Yvonne Strahovski. Everybody probably knows her from Chuck. But man, look, I was campaigning for Catherine real hard when they announced that they were making a Captain Marvel movie. I wanted her to get that role so goddamn bad. But yeah, moving on. So the little surprise that I have is we're gonna have a quick debate. Um, so news came out recently, I guess, confirming that Ben Affleck is no longer playing Batman.
Oof.
He's not going to be Batman in Matt Reeves' The Batman film. So, and I have another debate topic as well with some news that just came out, you know, earlier today. But on the topic of Batman, like, what's your stance? Where do you stand on Batman? Would you have continued with Ben Affleck? Yes or no, and why?
I would have just just because I'm just this is just a symbol now of like, well, no, but hold on. Is the Matt Reeves like from the jump that was not going to be in this universe, or was it?
You know, information was murky. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even the information about Ben Affleck not being Batman before like the most recent press release that we got about Matt Reeves' movie. Because in that press release, not only did they basically confirm Ben Affleck isn't reprising his role, they confirmed that the movie is supposed to come out in 2021, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got like a date set on the movie. Um, I didn't read anything else regarding like possible villains or who else was going to be in the movie. But as far as I know, it was supposed to be in the DCEU. But with the fact that they're doing, you know, Birds of Prey movie, or yeah, Birds of Prey movie
Shit,
mainly,
doing anything but Batman.
they're doing like a Joker solo film. Basically, they have like they're using the excuse of Elseworlds and all these like other standalone films that probably don't even tie into the DCEU as excuses for like, hey, none of these movies are connected. Like we're not focusing on building anything cohesive anymore. Because hell, even reports about James Gunn not only writing but now probably directing Suicide Squad 2 have come out with the added news that it's probably going to have an all new lineup. So it's like, oh, all right, I
hmm.
guess. But as far as I know, now it might not be in the DCEU, but I'm going on the basis of it was going to be, and that's why it was taking them so long to really figure out why the heck if Ben Affleck was gonna stay or not.
True.
So I'm
Well,
going based on that.
I guess that just changes my answer. But I mean, as far as that, if it was gonna be a part of the same cinematic universe, then I would have been like, okay, keep him, because I don't know. I think just having to recast and like sort of do the reboot thing, it just like admits more to the failure. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like if y'all keep it going, it's like, okay, they're still not through with this thing. Or, like maybe just do a little, kind of recon, or something like that, or like almost like a requel or something. Like if they were going to do a Batman movie, I'm not sure where like it's, where this one is headed like story wise, but like, maybe make Ben a younger, Batman, or something like that. I don't know, but I would have kept him just because it's like, damn, it was just two movies. So I would have wanted someone to stay just a little bit longer, but
Okay, so your stance is you would have kept them.
I would have kept him. Yeah, if
Okay.
they'd have kept it in the same universe, I would have kept it.
Okay.
But, considering if they were trying to do like a standalone, like sort of the way that they're doing the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie, then I would have probably recast it. Because I mean, my biggest issue, if there's anything with the Batman and the DC, extended universe or whatever, is I just I don't like the fact they put him so old when he met Superman or when he like started this thing.
Yeah.
Like had it have been me, I would have, had it at like just, him at a fair age, just I would have done more like a New Frontier kind of, origin for the Justice League,
Yeah.
Rather than like him being so old and having to go through all, I mean, I like the fact, what I did like about the movie and like just that version is like, Batman was kind of the one that wanted to bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just didn't want him to be like so old, which Ben could have been like a middle-aged Batman. I mean, it's acting,
Right.
he could play like somebody 10 years younger. So
Yeah.
that's just what I thought on it.
Okay. All right. Your stance is that you would have kept them. Just for
Yeah.
being contrarian, I'm gonna go the complete opposite, and this is where I fall in the debate. You would have kept them because you would have liked to continue on and give him more chance at playing that Batman or whatever. I
Hmm.
would, whether or not this was a movie following up Batman v Superman, or kind of a new start to whatever universe they're trying to build. I would have gone like, yeah, I'm in. I'll go with the fact that, yeah, let's switch them out. And my reasoning is, one, that now you can agree or disagree. Hopefully you disagree. I'm doing everything contrarian because I can actually play both sides of the fence on this one. But for me, yeah, let's switch them out, because one, that gives Matt Reeves an entirely new slate to work with
True.
and to construct his own story however he wants to construct it. Switch him out with somebody a little bit younger. Switch him out with um switch him out with somebody that's going to be able to play this role for 3-4 movies possibly. But for the main reason why I would have switched them out is because it opens up a lot of doors and it gives more freedom to what the director wants to do. They don't have to stand by with, yeah, we're using Ben Affleck, but that might kind of force us to kind of stay in the realm or stay with the connectivity of Justice League and Batman v Superman versus, hey, I'm gonna cast uh insert actor A as Batman, and we're gonna start off from a new jumping point, and we're gonna bring in different villains, and we're gonna bring in a new Alfred, and things like that. So yeah, replace them, start fresh with a new actor. Now, just like you said, what you would have done differently. Now, I would have liked to, still recast Ben Affleck with a younger actor, but I would have also liked to have kept Henry Cavill as Superman. Now, ideally, the reason why I didn't like the fact that they cast Ben Affleck as Batman, I didn't have a problem with the actual casting. I was like, okay, I can see that. I can see Ben Affleck as Batman. Now, the reason why I didn't like it is because of the age. And I was like, no, this means that they're going with an older Batman. And this means that, he's probably not going to be able to stay in the role for too long. Ideally, when Henry Cavill got the role of Superman, he was 29, 30.
Yeah, I think so.
He was maybe early 30s, going into mid 30s. He was basically the same age as Superman in the movie, essentially. So ideally, you want somebody that's going to grow into the role the same way that Henry did when he got it. So if, we're cast, again, my casting choice would have been Dylan Casey. I might be reversing his first and last name. It's either Dylan Casey or Casey Dillon. Pretty sure it's Dylan Casey. He was an actor on Nikita. And from what I saw, he played like a CIA agent, ended up like faking his death. It's Nikita. So it's an espionage show. He has the look, and he's a lacrosse athlete. He has the look of like kind of a playboy billionaire. Like I can see him playing Bruce Wayne, but I can also see him being, tough and kind of angry enough to play Batman as well. If you look him up, you'll see what I mean, I think. But yeah, I would have gone ahead and, just switched him out the role just to give the director the chance to start fresh.
Valid point.
Yeah. So the other debate topic that I have is earlier today, Disney had their earnings call. My stock app that I have notified me of it, and I could have listened in on it, but I chose not to. But apparently during the call, Bob Iger said that once the Disney-Fox merger finishes, that they do plan on keeping Deadpool in that rated R area of filmmaking, and it could possibly open up some other doors for other properties to be made rated R. Now, do you think that, do you think that Disney and, Bob Iger, Disney, Kevin Feige, whoever, do you think that they should make rated R Marvel movies outside of Deadpool? And we'll go from there. Whatever your stance is, I'll take the opposite, just to be contrarian.
I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
Okay.
Just because there are so many characters like in that universe that if you did them all the same, it may not get to like the central, just the core of the character. But even though I vote like yes, like it just needs to be really carefully done, and that's like one person that I'll give an example to is the Punisher. Yeah. Like I'm not finished with the Netflix special, but I can already tell like one of the mistakes that they made in this Punisher like Netflix universe, because they say it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's like
it's a very disconnected version of the MCU.
Yeah, so it's just involve it and let it be known it's in the same universe, but still keep a very, I don't know, just a little bit more of a fantastical like comic book vibe to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think that Daredevil kind of like walks the fine line and does a good job. Now it may be because like he's got the fourth wall and everything like that, but I still just need, I don't know, there's something about like being in a rated R movie or something like that where you can still give off that vibe like, hey, this is still a comic book world, you know? Like this
Okay.
is still you can still give off the very fantastical vibe, you know, that way you can still get some of that like, I don't know, feeling that it is a comic book movie, you know? Like I was explaining just one, like I was talking to a friend about it, and it was just there doesn't have to be a reason like for everything, like just, and I keep on going back to Deadpool because it's probably the most successful one, like as far as a rated R comic book movie about a mainstream character, like they like the scenario, like the scenes in Deadpool 1 where like he's making his suit, like he kind of just he goes through like trials, but you don't have to see him like get, oh, this is like a standard like protective leather or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't give too much reasoning, or like even with like the emotive eyes, which I think like they're starting to do more and more. So honestly, I know it's going off track, but I see like Batman even having that, or let's say it was with Ocean Master in the Aquaman movie. But there doesn't have to be a reasoning for it. It's like, hey man, look, at the end of the day, this is a comic book character that we're making a movie on.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go into the intricacies of like everything. It's just like, hey, it's there because it's there, because that's how it was in the books. So I don't know. That's kind of like my take on it, but I don't know, just the way that the Punisher, for example, or even Daredevil, like I did like Daredevil, but when they started crossing into like CIA and like, stuff like that, like I just wanted the more fantastical element, of a comic book movie,
Yeah.
Like I know Kingpin was a mob boss, but like, having to deal with you know, I'm not sure what that, nationality was, that he had like sold out to or something like that, where like they were going after him. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know,
They,
Albanians.
yeah, I think they
Was it
were
the
Albanians.
Albanians?
I think it was the Albanians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something, but it was just like, it was just sort of like the way I could just sum up Daredevil season 3, or like all of Daredevil, was like any time where there was a fantastical element, like when Bullseye was doing his thing or when Daredevil was doing his thing, it was like, all right, man, this is cool. But then when they started getting on to like, you know, the CIA being in Kingpin's pocket and like all these other characters that are just like, one, I'm not sure if they were from a book or not, and two, they were just so boring, you
Yeah.
know? So I don't know, but I think it's possible. I think you can definitely do it. It just, you have to keep that fantastical comic book movie element, you know? Rating wouldn't matter, because, everybody knows that with a rated R film, you're going to get cussing and you're going to get, some gore and some violence. But, Blade did it perfectly, and that movie still holds clout, man. That movie's like 20 something years old. And that, when that's on, like, I could watch that shit,
Yeah.
you know? So, and that's one person I definitely would want to see, like,
Rated R.
maybe not reinvented, but definitely put back on like a film or, TV, something.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna say that they don't need to make any rated R films. I think that they should continue to make Deadpool rated R, but making other films and making them rated R, I don't think that they need to do so because you know it doesn't really, what is it gonna change besides language and blood. Like they already get away with curse words in PG-13 movies now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we've heard Tony Stark say shit. We've heard, uh, have we heard a fuck? I don't think we heard a fuck,
No,
but we've
no.
heard shit. I mean,
Yeah.
shit is a pretty big curse word. Like, if I heard like a kid saying that or something like that, fuck or shit, I'm gonna look at them a little weird. Like, what did you just say? So I don't think, and gore, like you can get away with showing blood in PG-13. It just can't be gratuitous.
Yeah.
So I think, making a PG, taking a character like Punisher and making him, putting him in a PG-13 movie, or taking a character like Daredevil, putting them in a PG-13 movie. You can still have the brutality of them beating the shit out of somebody. You don't necessarily have to show massive amounts of blood to get that across, that they're very, very
Yeah.
brutal. So you don't need to make go forward making a lot of movies rated R, or making certain movies rated R. It's like with the Black Widow film. Rumor has it even before this that they were thinking of making it rated R. Would that be cool? Yeah, I guess, but a Black Widow film doesn't need to be rated R. Like, what I'm looking for in a Black Widow film is to have really good action scenes, and I mean hand-to-hand action scenes. Like, we already know she's proficient with a gun, but hand-to-hand action scenes and espionage, you don't need a rated R movie for that. Like, you can bring in the guys from John Wick to work on like the actual hand-to-hand combat stuff. And if you build the movie being a spy movie, like, yeah, she kills people, but you don't have to, again, be gratuitous with that. You can show. Now, I don't know what they can get away with now regarding showing blood, but you can show blood. Like, you can shoot somebody in the head and then maybe show like a trickle of blood like coming down their forehead, or you can beat somebody senseless and then kind of show them like spit out blood or something like that with bruises on their face. Like, there are ways to get around that without just throwing slapping an R on it and showing somebody's getting their fucking head blown off. So yeah, I don't think you have to. I don't think they need to make rated R movies, because they can still work around that, and and it'll force you to be more creative. It'll force you to be more creative. Like, okay, this is the Punisher we're talking about. He's known for carrying around machine guns and just mowing people down. Okay, we have a PG-13 movie. What are we going to do with this? How are we going to show this brutality? It forces you to be creative when you're constrained like that. That's why so many low budget films, that's why a lot of filmmakers of low budget films have to get creative and end up coming up with some good stuff. Because, look, yeah, I have this idea to pull off in the film. We don't have the money to execute that, though. So how are we going to do it? Forces you kind of outside the box as far as like thinking of how to execute it. So yeah, I don't think that they need to make rated R films. And that was me answering strictly being contrarian.
Nice.
So yeah, I definitely, now that we're done with that, hopefully I'm gonna get a topic with somebody that's gonna be way more passionate and intense. But I would love more rated R films from Marvel. I just want to get by saying that. Like, I definitely want to see Black Widow fading people, and like, I definitely want to see blood, because she already said she has a lot of red in her ledger. So yeah, I need to see red, dog.
Right.
But yeah, that was me answering strictly contrarian. So on
Well,
both
it's
times.
good that you can see it both on both sides.
Yeah. So other than that, that's all we got tonight, folks. Anything else on anything that we discussed?
Nah, man. I think we covered it very well.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna try to start actually sticking with this weekly schedule for the podcast. I don't know if I'm gonna edit this as a video and put it up on YouTube, or if I'm gonna like strictly submit it to iTunes or Google Play. I'm probably gonna have to go through and listen to it and maybe edit out any. I know I heard a bit of interference on my end from my mic, but I don't know if the actual audio picked up on it. So I'm gonna have to go back and listen through and see how bad it is. If it got bad, probably didn't, but yeah. So hopefully this is the start of a new season that's gonna be way more consistent, and this will actually be the start of like the episodes getting uploaded to actual podcast providers.
I think it's gonna be. I don't know. We're gonna have a busy couple of months here because we got even though we're not the most excited about it. I mean, I'm still gonna watch Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely still gonna go see it. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not. This is probably the only MCU film that I haven't been excited to go see. I've been excited to see all 20 goddamn films that they've released. Yes, even Thor: The Dark World. Because I went back. I think when I was watching Iron Man 3 during my my Christmas movie tradition, I watched Iron Man 3, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I started this tradition last Christmas, and it's going to continue for the foreseeable future. Going back and watching Iron Man 3, when you load up some of the movies, they have like trailers run before you can actually go to the main menu. And seeing that trailer for The Dark World, that movie was supposed to be so fucking fire, and it was not. Like, I liked it when I saw it in theaters, but then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, you know what? I can't bring myself to go back and watch this film.
It's just crazy how some movies like you do fall into the hype, which is cool because that's what that's what a fan is supposed to do. Is supposed to fall into hype, but like the longevity of a movie is like what matters. Like I probably wouldn't pop that one in like and just be like, damn, this was really dope. But something like Avengers, like I mean, even today, man, I was just like on my timeline, and like now social media is just so different than it was even just a few years ago. Like someone was just playing the clip of Captain America versus like Iron Man in Civil War, and I legit like rewound it like time after time, and I'm just like, damn, this movie is freaking flawless, bro. Like, golly.
There,
like the music, the fight, like it was the scene, like I was just scrolling on my timeline, and it's the scene where like Cap is like legit beating the shit out of Iron Man. So he analyzes the fight patterns, and I'm just like, wow, dude.
I can go back and watch certain MCU movies, just pop them in and throw them on like nothing. And then there are some where it's like, do I really want to watch this? I'll throw it on. But Thor: The Dark World is the one movie where I get tired if I'm going through my MCU films. I'm like, what do I want to watch? Man, I haven't watched Thor: The Dark World. Maybe I need to give it a second shot. Then I'll look at it and I'm like, you know what?
There's a reason why.
Right. Like, you know what? I really just don't feel like doing anything right now. Let me put this back and go throw on Hulu or something. It's bad. But Captain Marvel, I'm gonna go see, but I'm definitely not like super excited for it. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm hoping it's gonna be good, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm just not liking her delivery in some of those trailers. Hopefully they did that for the trailers. I think it's not like that in the movie.
I think if anything, if the movie isn't like amazingly well received, it's not going to be like, I think that's they're playing it safe because it's like, all right, look, we're going to give you this solo character and we're going to introduce them, but if you don't like it that much, it's cool because not even a month later she's coming back, but maybe she's going to have better interaction with the other heroes, and then we're going to dig her. Because that's one thing that they did with me on Ant-Man. Like, I did not like Ant-Man at all. Like, I've only seen that movie once. Like, in theaters. And I saw the sequel, but, it's like the same reason you were talking about watching Captain Marvel. But, like, Ant-Man in Civil War, he was legit. Like, his connection and his banter with everybody I was cool with, but like alone, I was like, man, this is not a good movie.
Oh
Like,
man,
I didn't like it at all.
I really liked Ant-Man and the sequel. I guess that'll be another
Yeah,
debate topic for later.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so yeah, we got a busy couple of months ahead of us. Not just with comic book movies, but with film in general. There might be. I know I'm going to see Alita Battle Angel and Happy Death Day to You.
yeah. I'll be
Um,
watching that.
which is weird because Happy Death Day to You comes out next Wednesday.
Damn.
And this is even weirder. Alita Battle Angel comes out on Valentine's Day, which might not seem weird until you realize Valentine's Day is on a Thursday. Valentine's
Yeah.
Day is next Thursday. I've never heard of a film being released on a Thursday.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not talking about like the night before, air quotes, midnight screening, because they don't even do those anymore.
Nah, they don't. They'll just get the Thursday night showings.
Yeah, but literally the movie comes out Thursday. I've heard of movies being released on Wednesday. I've never heard of a movie being released on Thursday. That's so weird. But yeah, Happy Death Day is coming out next Wednesday on the 13th, which it came out on when it came out in 2017. It came out on Friday the 13th in October. So I guess they're keeping up with the same date as far as like the 13th, but the 13th is a Wednesday. It's really, really weird. You think they release that on a Friday too. Now I have to see what's coming out next Friday and why these movies are getting jumps on the box office run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go see Happy Death Day to You and Alita Battle Angel. I'm really hoping that Alita Battle Angel is good because it looks really good. And I've only watched Jeremy Johns' review of it, and he said it's worth a watch, but you can tell they tried to like cram some stuff. Probably, and he wasn't he isn't like a fan of the manga, so he hasn't read it. But he's like, you know what? If there's a really dense story in the manga, you can tell they tried to cram a lot into this movie. And I'm like,
Uh,
I'm gonna still go see it because it looked fire.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we can do a podcast on Happy Death Day to You. Cause I really thoroughly enjoyed the first movie. Like I saw it when it was in the Dollar Theater down here because that and Jackie Chan's The Foreigner came out like either the same day or like a week apart. And I wanted to see both of them, but I just never got around to it. Never saw The Foreigner in theaters, but the Dollar Theater near me, well not near me, but it was showing like Jigsaw and Happy Death Day and like one other movie. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go see Happy Death Day. And it was good. It wasn't scary, but it was an entertaining movie. Once I realized it was a Groundhog's Day version of a slasher film, I was like, okay, I need to go see what this is about. And it was a thoroughly entertaining movie. I can say that. It
I
looks
liked
like
it.
it looks like they, from what I saw of the trailer, looks like they going, a little bit on the deep end with some of the shit that they exploring in the trailer.
Yeah.
Um, as far as like whatever that mechanism was, but yeah, this is like if they turn this into like some type of weird Final Destination type turn it on its head thing, I'll be happy. But I'm just not sure what that whole possible Tesla ball or whatever it's called looking thing in the trailer is supposed to do, and what it has to do with like traveling through time and that one dude looking at himself sitting in a chair. So we'll see what they actually do with this film, but I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that. So I'm gonna see both of those movies probably not next week, but probably like that following Sunday when I'm actually off of work.
Nice.
So yeah, we might be able to do a podcast on Happy Death Day to You or something like that.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so that's it for us, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I'm gonna try to bring a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep it more debatey and just have one topic that gets spoken on, and then bring up a random debate topic. toward the end or halfway through the episode, depending on how long that first topic runs. And yeah, so we'll catch up with you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Check out the other ones, and peace out.
Later.